am a 24-year-old man, and I have spent the better part of my life analyzing and decoding a Grubhub cinematic universe. Just the fact that I have the ability to utter the words Grubhub cinematic universe is absolutely insane. How did we as a society progress to this point? Like, whether or not you believed we evolved from monkeys or Adam and Eve eating a stupid apple, as a human society, as the human race, we have progressed to the point where we are building Grubhub cinematic universes within Grubhub advertisements that are somehow linked to the Jimmy Neutron universe. How did we get here? The new Spider-Man movie comes out this week, and somehow this GCU is a lot more action-packed and deep than the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's actually pretty crazy if you think about it. Thankfully, it seems like we have reached the conclusion of this absolute wild ride of a roller coaster, and it seems like that you, yes, you and me, we collectively together have finally solved the Grubhub mystery. Without any further ado, Food Theory, you solved the Grubhub mystery. He's talking to me. Me, look, you, me. He's talking to me. I solved the Grubhub mystery. See what we got.
Earlier this year on April Fool's Day, Food Theory released an episode about Grubhub's bizarre 3D animated campaign. Taco Guy looks kind of like Jimmy Neutron all grown up. Red t-shirt, atom on the chest, 3 electron orbitals. It's Jimmy Neutron's shirt. The millennials in the Grubhub cinematic universe perfectly match up to the cast of Jimmy Neutron. New Grubhub evidence has come to light. Grubhub somehow tracked down my address and sent me this cryptic package with the word confidential actually
You don't think that that's kind of odd? I mean, I guess if you used Grubhub, then yes, they would have your address stored in their national database, free for any hacker to obtain, break into, hack, and leak all of your personal and confidential information. That's definitely not a problem there, dude. But they just left this ominous, mysterious package on your doorstep with no note.
Across the front.
Like, I still think, bro, what if there was anthrax and you're just opening things?
There are 3 particular pieces of information that I'm gonna make available to you
First,
right
like a
now,
spider.
Theorist Hive Mind. We here at Food Theory have uploaded these 3 files in their entirety and full resolution for you to sink your teeth into at home.
You responded with hundreds of ideas. Today, we chew on them.
Let's fucking go.
Internet, welcome to Food Theory, the food channel that somehow wound up.
By the way, I have a theory about that house. Remember? You guys remember the house, right? And we couldn't figure out the purpose of that specific house. I have a theory about that house.
Dissecting
I got
TV
you.
shows from your childhood. Theorists,
I got you.
Today's episode is all about you. See, a couple months ago,
Me.
we started dissecting the hidden lore of Grubhub's 3D animated ad campaign. I mean, these things were everywhere, and they were so meme-worthy. But as we dove deep into hidden family photos and secret relationships, something else stood out. Clues hinting at something much bigger. References to the classic Nickelodeon series Jimmy Neutron
The
Boy
Rapture.
Genius. A shirt here, a character design there, technology that seemed to riff on that old series, but there was no way this could be true, right? I mean, a meal delivery service
No,
continuing
absolutely
the lore of a
not.
classic Nickelodeon cartoon from 20 years ago? It's impossible. It was an April Fool's theory. We couldn't have stumbled on something real,
Oh,
right?
absolutely not.
Wrong. Grubhub responded, sending us a mysterious package full of never-before-seen clues for us to dissect, suggesting that we were definitely onto something. A McSpanky's uniform, a purple
Fucking
receipt, a commercial
McSpanky's.
starring an older Cindy Vortex. But within that package, there were also a few things that didn't
Okay,
quite add up.
here's my
Items-
theory. This house has some significance. What is the one character, the one character that we haven't seen yet? What's her name? The teacher with the big ass pointy nose, right? and she got piped down by Thomas Edison, and she talks like a seagull, bro. I think it was a homicide. I think this house is the scene of a brutal homicide, and you know who the offender was? It was Ultra Lord. That's my theory.
And images that
That's
we
my
didn't know
theory.
what Grubhub was trying to tell us with.
Ultra Lord was woozy off the purple flirt, bro. Oh my gosh, that purple flirp had him leaning, dude. He was trying to clap him some cheeks, right? The teacher said no way. Ultra Lord got pissed off, and he committed an act of homicide. That's what I think happened.
And that's when I
That's what I think
you
happened.
guys some homework. I asked for your help, summoning the power of the loyal theorist community to dissect the clues and try to prove once and for all that the 3D animated Grubhub cinematic universe and the 3D animated Jimmy Neutron cinematic universe were one and the same. And I am happy to report that you guys crushed it. I am giving you all an A+ on your homework.
Thank you.
Print this episode up and put it on that refrigerator, friends.
You're
Teacher
welcome.
Matt Pat is proud
I'm glad
of
I
you.
could help
Pointed
you.
out a ton of little things that were really helpful, like how Taco Guy's dog, aka Jimmy's robot dog Goddard, is holding one of Milkshake Lady's socks from another commercial spot, thereby proving the theory that Milkshake Lady and Taco Guy may have had a relationship in the past. Another great detail that I absolutely loved, pointed out by Abigail Grizzle, is that there are $2 bills in the picture with the circled house. It's a really unusual detail, so Abigail went digging and found that $2 bills are printed exclusively at the Western Currency Facility in Fort Worth, Texas, which, as we established in the earlier episode, is near Jimmy Neutron's hometown of Retroville. And that's just the small potatoes, friends. What the theorist community collectively uncovered over the past few weeks has led us to a major breakthrough. Let's just say that one of Nickelodeon's most popular characters might actually have wound up
Hugh! Wait, Hugh committed the homicide? Oh no. Now why is Drake and Josh here?
Murderer after his series stopped airing. Yep, things are about to get dark, friends, so without any further ado,
Wait!
that one of Nickelodeon's most popular characters might actually have wound up a cold-blooded murderer after—
So I was right! Somebody did commit homicide! Somebody is a murderer! I was right!
his series
Dude, I
stopped
fucking
airing.
told
Yep,
you!
things are about to get dark, friends,
I
so
told
without
you.
any further ado, let's blast off.
I
Of
told
the three
you.
things that I uploaded onto the shared drive for all you to look at, the one you loyal theorists tended to focus on was this picture Grubhub mailed to me with a circled house. So let's start with that.
That's
one
the crime
first.
scene.
We received dozens of comments suggesting that this tan two-story house seen in Grubhub commercials is in fact the same tan two-story house that Jimmy Neutron grew up in. And I gotta admit, that was the first thing that popped into my mind when I first saw that circled house
makes no
too, but there were a
sense.
few
It doesn't
reasons why I
look- it
stopped
doesn't look
short
the
of
same.
declaring it Jimmy Neutron's childhood home in the previous episode. For one thing, the trim color's different. It was green in the early 2000s series, but not so much in the present day. For another, the Grubhub neighborhood is just a lot denser with houses than Jimmy Neutron's in the show, in which the houses are separated by Texas-sized yards. Granted, it's been a couple decades, people tend to repaint their trim and neighborhoods grow, especially in the rapidly growing Dallas-Fort Worth area, but it wasn't the slam dunk that I was looking for. And the biggest reason I resisted calling them the same house was actually the chimney placement. See how it's at the end of Jimmy Neutron's childhood home in this shot from the series, but it's popping up in the middle of the roof over in the Grubhub house? I mean, sure, literally anything about a house can be changed in a 20-year time frame, but if I'm gonna believe that the Neutrons went to all the effort and expense of moving a chimney, I'm gonna need a
We
clear
need an MTV
reason as to
Cribs of
why.
this.
And
Get
wouldn't you
a
know it,
real
you
tour.
provided me with exactly that. See, just as I was about to stamp this whole house theory certified false, Kyo the Breakfinator, Jay Clark, and Goose Gaming all independently pointed me to a
Goose
particular
Gaming!
scene
Shout
from
out
the
Goose!
2001 Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius feature film.
Oh my god! Right, their parents? Their parents become victims of the rapture? Right? And they go on like the alien planet? Dude, I remember! Right? And then the kids ran a rampage on the town and they got sad because they parents. Dude, that's a classic! It's a classic!
Well, what do you know? The chimney fell off again.
That's right. Basically, the first time we meet Jimmy Neutron, he knocks the chimney off his family's house. Now, does this mean that the Neutrons built the chimney in a new location? No, not right away, at least. We know this because the Neutron's chimney continues to appear in its end-of-house location for several more seasons on Nickelodeon. But there's a line that's really important from that scene that we just watched.
Well, what do you know? The chimney fell off again.
Theorists, it means that this happens on a regular basis. It's happened in the past and will probably happen again in the future, which means that the neutrons would have a good reason to eventually move the chimney, saving money. See, in its current position at the end of the house, every time Jimmy crashes into the chimney, it topples completely, all the way down to the ground. A 2-story brick chimney will likely cost over $5,000 to entirely rebuild.
Damn.
But if the chimney suddenly
Did you get that quoted by a professional chimney master?
To demolish the entire height.
Is that an accurate?
Probably only topple like 2 or 3 feet of the chimney sticking out of the roof at about $150 per linear foot.
What about the
Rebuilding
appraisal of the rest of the
its new
house?
location actually saves the neutron family over 90% every time Jimmy knocks over a chimney, and you better believe that those neutrons are going to be interested in saving that kind of money.
Would I like to have a 6-foot dunk sculpture?
Just
with
go
a
on
year's supply of
Groupon.
free
I'm
pie?
sure you can find a.
Bet you
You can find a deal.
We don't have that.
Check out
kind of money.
Groupon.
I wish we were rich.
Kinda sucks that Jimmy Neutron has literally created massive diamonds from lumps of coal in his high-tech underground lab and chooses to not share that wealth with his family, but I digress. The point is this. I needed a reason why the neutrons might move.
Now that I think about it, that is nothing but straight facts. Like, all Jimmy gotta do is just sell. He's built a fully functioning, self-sustaining, automatic robot dog, dude. Just that invention itself could make him a multi-millionaire, dude. But instead, he decides to be a Reddit mod down in his mama's basement, sweaty, don't wear no type of deodorant, just going crazy hours and hours and hours on that computer instead of doing something productive with his life. You know what I'm saying? Like taxes.
Move their chimney, and the loyal theorists gave me exactly that. So I have no choice but to stamp this theory about the tan house being the same house 100% plausible. We simply cannot rule out the tan house theory, especially when you factor in another detail a lot of you theorists latched onto: the blue car parked outside. We received a lot of comments saying that this was the Neutron family car from the Nickelodeon show, but I don't think that's quite the case. For one
It's
thing,
not.
the car parked at the Grubhub house is a hatchback. The Neutrons have had a fair share of blue cars parked outside of their house over the years, but never a
Bruh, you
hatchback.
see, Hugh was whipping the convertible. Ooh, woo, they was cruising with the top down, baby.
Sedan like we
They
see
was
here.
flexing.
However, remember, the Grubhub commercials
Hugh
took place
is big
20
ballin'.
years after Jimmy Neutron was a child. The average length of car ownership in the US is just under 6 years. So it seems fair to assume that over the course of a couple decades, the Neutrons would purchase a new car that never graced the Nickelodeon screen. And if I had to bet what color car the Neutrons would choose, my money would be on blue, especially given that Jimmy, just like his parents, seems to have a thing for blue vehicles. So again, the blue car doesn't prove anything definitively, but it's yet another crazy coincidence that we can toss onto our ever-growing pile. I'll also add that there were a number of comments specifically calling out the station wagon from another Nickelodeon show, The Fairly OddParents. And you see, this one's really interesting because, as any Nickelodeon fan knows, the universes of Jimmy Neutron and
They already
Fairly
crossed.
OddParents intertwine.
The greatest, one of the greatest crossover events in the history of humanity? Jimmy, Timmy, Power Hour. We got not only one, but 2 crossover specials in both universes? Name a better crossover. You can't.
Massively.
That's
Which one is the
crazy.
greatest lab in the universe? Whoa. Hey, why is everything so bulgy?
That's right, Nickelodeon made the
Fire.
Jimmy Neutron and Fairly OddParents
So
universes as one and
fire.
the same with their crossover
Bro,
express.
tell me why Jimmy pulled up to Timmy's universe and started macking on his girl, bro.
Extravaganza, the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour.
That's some
named after
alpha
the star
shit.
characters of both shows, Jimmy Neutron and Timmy Turner. In the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, Timmy Turner has a thing for Cindy Vortex, while Jimmy Neutron goes two-dimensional in the Fairly OddParents style. The TLDR of that is that the crossover is significant. So if we were to believe that the Grubhub universe is the Jimmy Neutron universe, and there's no way around it, the Fairly OddParent universe becomes a part of this whole mess too. Now honestly, I don't think that the blue car from the Grubhub spot has anything to do with the Turner's car. Their car color of choice is green for one thing, but a handful of you pointed out a Fairly OddParent link that seems really solid and is worth exploring. You'll all recall that
Don't
we were
tell me
able
it's
to match
Mr.
every millennial-aged
Crocker.
main character in the Grubhub universe to a millennial-aged main character in the Jimmy Neutron universe. All that is, except for one, Milkshake Lady.
Milkshake
Former love of
Lady.
Taco Guy and the one that ultimately dies by being crushed under a giant
Oh
Grubhub
my
delivery
God,
van. Now, when we were
Milkshake
putting our
Lady's from
initial
Fairly
Grubhub
Odd
episode together, We
Parents.
considered that Milkshake Lady could be the grown-up version of Jimmy Neutron's sometimes love interest Betty Quinlan. However, the eye color didn't match, and Milkshake Lady has no moles on her face. Ultimately, there wasn't a whole lot there to go off of, so we moved along. But
Who is
in
it?
the Fairly Odd Parents
Who is
universe,
it?
there is a main character who's the right
Trixie
age, has dark hair,
fucking
blue eyes,
Tang!
and no mole. Timmy Turner's occasional love interest,
Woo!
Trixie Tang, who just so happens to share two important qualities with Milkshake Lady. She's a lover of small dogs and a lover of food.
I'm hungry.
And she wearing the sweater.
Man, tell me I'm pretty!
So it definitely feels like Milkshake
And she
Lady
wearing that
could
sweater.
be Trixie all grown up. And as you can start to see, the pile of evidence supporting
Dude, this is getting crazy. This is like a Maury episode, dude. Timmy went to Jimmy's universe, macking on Cindy. Jimmy goes to Timmy's universe and knocks up his girl. This is messy. This is very messy.
This theory has become immense. What started as merely an April Fool's
That's
theory
messy.
is now, at this point,
We gonna find
as
out
confirmed as any
Jimmy's
theory
mom
tends
is
to
having an
get on
affair with
any of
Mr.
our
Crocker?
channels. But there was still one last major clue that I had sent you guys to pick apart. This super wide shot of the Grubhub town. Now, if our theory is correct and the Grubhub town is actually present-day Retroville, then surely this town's urban center has to have something linking it to Retroville, right? Some of you pointed out that the general architectural style between the two towns is similar, and I would agree, but I'd also love to find some more specifics. You know, like, I get why McSpanky's might not be around given its history of flying off into the sky, but what about other businesses
What's the
like the Taco
problem?
Shack or the Candy Bar? Well, friends, I was about to stamp this one as certified false as well, but then an astoundingly keen observation was posted to the food theorist subreddit by Ezekiel
What?
Breadcrumbs, who pointed out
Ezekiel!
this weird little public space in the center of downtown. See that? That distinctive checkerboard floor? The
Oh my
round pastel
God!
tables? Ladies and gentlemen, it's the former site
It's the
of
Candy
the Candy
Bar!
Bar, converted into an outdoor public space over the past 20 years. And that's not all. In a previous episode, we identified the location of our
Look at
circle.
what American commercialism has done. The Candy Bar was the hangout spot for the gang, and they demolished it for a couple of condos in a parking lot.
House with the red
In a-
roof is
in a
viewed way
Walgreens.
down here in the right-hand corner. Yes, there are other blue houses with red roofs, but this particular one fits with the position of the tall, reflective building in the background. By cross-referencing the wide shot of the town against the picture with the circle house, we
Now
can
we're
figure out that the
cross-referencing.
tan house would be situated around here, behind the foliage, and the gigantic Grubhub bag would have landed on Milkshake Lady somewhere around here. But get this, given how the tan house is situated, if it's indeed the Neutron house, it means the blue house with the red roof is actually built in what used to be the backyard of Jimmy Neutron's childhood home, which means that the blue house is located precisely on top of the site of Jimmy Neutron's workshop, which of course has his expansive high-tech underground lab beneath it. And this is a huge revelation because y'all figured out that Salad Lady, aka Cindy Vortex, now lives in that very same house.
Oh
Many of you
my
pointed out that Salad
God!
Lady's walls are light blue, and we can see from the exterior shot of that house that
Wait! Dude, okay, now we're getting even crazier. Nah, dude, now we're getting even crazier, dude. Now Cindy is living in the house built on top of Jimmy's lab. So now, are Jimmy and Cindy clapping? Like, what this?
But the walls
Everybody's
inside,
just getting
again,
passed
are
around,
light
dude.
blue.
It's like
Furthermore,
everybody's-
There's a window on at least one side of the front door of Salad Lady's house, which does indeed jive with the house's layout. And the implications of this are massive, because it suggests that adult Jimmy Neutron and adult Cindy Vortex might now be married, just like the Nickelodeon show promised they would be when it introduced future Jimmy and future Cindy in the season 3 episode, The Tomorrow Boys.
Cindy, can you not call me Nurtron now that we're married?
Gotta say, the similarities are definitely there. Future Jimmy even has that slightly unshaven taco guy look going on. Point is this, surely Jimmy Neutron wouldn't
Nice.
just let any old stranger build a house on top
His
of
head's
his
shaped like a bowling
ridiculously
pin.
awesome lab. He'd be super reluctant to give that real estate up. So if Cindy Vortex is indeed living in the blue house with a red roof like the loyal theorists seem to think, that probably means that she's living with Jimmy Neutron and her mother.
I had to gut the lab so Cindy's mom could move in.
Dude,
With Jimmy Neutron and her
Cindy's mom? Woo! Woo!
mother.
I had to gut the lab so Cindy's mom could move in. Her feet require constant care.
And this info gives us the complete Taco Guy / Jimmy Neutron romantic timeline. According to Nickelodeon canon, circa 1998, 11-year-old Jimmy Neutron had an on-again, off-again schoolboy crush on his classmate and neighbor, Cindy Vortex. Shortly after the final season of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius ended, the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour airs, and Timmy Turner, star of the Fairly OddParents,
Let's
comes
go!
to Retroville, sweeping Cindy Vortex off her feet. But this is also
Stealing
when
his
Jimmy
girl.
Neutron visits Timmy Turner's home and meets Trixie.
Stealing
again.
his
The
girl!
New York
Everybody's
Fort Worth
stealing
plane
everybody's
ticket suggests
girl!
that the two had a long-distance relationship, perhaps even when Trixie went off to college in New York. Based on the receipt that we unboxed in the previous episode, it seems that by July of 2012, Trixie, now Milkshake Lady, has finally moved to Texas to enjoy the shakes she adores so much with her taco-loving boyfriend and his wonderful dog Goddard. But Jimmy and
My
Trixie's
gosh.
relationship would soon end, because per Nickelodeon canon, we know that Jimmy, 15 years in the future, aka 26-year-old Jimmy Neutron in the year 2013, was married to Cindy Vortex. So in late 2012 or early 2013,
Wait,
Jimmy Neutron
what?
abruptly dumps Trixie Tang and immediately gets serious with Cindy. However, Cindy's never been much of a fan of Goddard.
Dude, this is, no, I can't, bro. I can't keep this up. I can't keep this up, dude. So Jimmy was trying to be with Cindy, and then he ended up getting with Trixie. Then he ended up dumping Trixie to get with Cindy. And then Timmy was trying to get with Cindy, but then
Ron. Hi, Vortex. Nice dog. Thanks. Nice. Why are you taking your mother's blender for a walk?
So Cindy made Jimmy give custody of Goddard over to Trixie, who always adored the dog and was more than happy to take him. Trixie eventually moves on and strikes up a relationship with Sheen. Judging by the age of their child in this cursed 2020
that's kind of fucked up. Now that I think about it, you forced him to give away his actual dog? And Jimmy did it just for some ass? Fellas, do not fold. Do not crumble under the pressure of a woman. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. At the end of the day, think about it. She only wants you if you get rid of the dog. That dog gonna love you no matter what. Unconditional love right there to the day that dog dies, dude. And it's a robot, so that dog's probably not gonna die until his battery runs out, right? Or it short circuits, right? Or Elon builds like a better one and becomes obsolete, bro. But dude, the dog always comes number one, dude. It's not worth it. Don't give up the dog just for some booty. It's not worth it.
moves on and strikes up a
These
relationship with Sheen. Judging by
thotties.
the age of their child in this cursed 2020 Grubhub commercial, she gave birth around 2018 or so. But shortly after giving birth, while she was out walking Goddard, Trixie Tang meets her untimely demise when crushed beneath a falling Grubhub bag. Custody of Goddard then reverts back to his father Jimmy, who by that point had begun spending his days depressed on the couch, which kind of makes sense considering that he's married to a woman that treats him like this.
Nurtron! Nurtron, what are you doing? You're supposed to be soaking my mother's feet. And if it's not done every hour on the hour, she experiences severe flaking.
Dude,
But for as
grown
enlightening as all this
Cindy.
is, it brings up yet another gigantic question. See, in our first episode, we established that Jimmy Neutron is likely responsible for the magical Grubhub activity around his city, as evidenced by the fact that he's a technological genius who possesses a cell phone so advanced that he can cause food to magically summon into existence, as opposed to all the other Grubhub characters who can only summon food to their doorstep via delivery guy. So the gigantic question is this: if Jimmy Neutron created or wields control over the magical Grubhub activity of Retroville, then is he the one responsible for the Grubhub bag that crushed Trixie? Are we to believe that a Grubhub bag accidentally fell from the
What?
sky with such accuracy and precision as to kill Jimmy Neutron's ex, but miss his beloved dog? Or is it more likely that Jimmy bumped off his ex-love
What?
in an attempt to get his dog back, the only bright spot in his miserable married existence to Cindy? Is Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius more accurately described as Jimmy Neutron Cold-Blooded Murderer? I mean, it's
So Jimmy, wait. So Jimmy's life is so miserable dealing with Cindy that he resorted to murdering the only woman he truly loved. This is psychotic. This is psychotic. I told you, right? Homicide. But bro,
It seems like it's a bit of a stretch, but then again, this whole theory started off as a joke, and look where we are now. It's still just a theory.
How did we get here?
Food theory. But now we have a whole lot more evidence, and we have you, loyal theorists, to thank
Me.
for it. Thank you again
You're
to
welcome, dude.
everyone for submitting your theories. Keep them coming in the comments below or over on the subreddit. And speaking of
Dude.
thanks, I'd like to thank NordVPN.
This is where we've gone. This is where we have, as a society, have progressed. Okay? We went from the first wheel made out of stone, the first shoes made out of sticks, and the first condoms made out of some leaves, to now we've got a Grubhub cinematic universe that connects to not only the universe of Jimmy Neutron, but also Fairly Odd Parents, and grown-up Jimmy is so miserable being married to his childhood crush that he became psychotic and brutally murdered his ex-girl, Trixie Tang, because he's so sad and miserable. How did we get here?